You are now listening to the Basic and Boujie podcast. We are so excited for this episode and so excited to have the opportunity to interview Mr. Docinco himself. He is a serial entrepreneur and is the founder and CEO of the Rehab Parlor, a real estate investment firm, and Docinco Ventures, a multimedia company where he operates the Docinco Project podcast. He plans on opening up an online merch store this year, publishing a book, doing speaking engagements, and so much more. In his professional career, he has raised over $1 million for education and youth programs, taken on leadership positions in nonprofit boards within the Philadelphia community, and has won awards for his work, one of which being recognized twice as one of the most influential Latinos of the Delaware Valley. He has over 25,000 followers on TikTok, where he provides inspirational advice to the masses and lets them know that we got planes to catch and we don't got time for the nonsense. Please welcome Docinco.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Listen, I truly, first and foremost, I want to, I really appreciate just the opportunity,
We
especially
appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, especially, I'm like very proud of you guys. As far as the podcast, I know it's something that, it's a new venture, but you guys are doing your thing. So really do appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you. You motivate and inspire.
I try.
We don't have no couth here.
No, we don't.
So we have, we just start drinking and then we cheers. So we have a margarita, and what is it made with? Terramana tequila by The Rock.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock Dwayne Johnson.
Very good.
Cheers,
right here.
To a good show. Clink, clink, clink.
It's actually very good.
Thank you. Had to be our own bartender, We start from the bottom.
We still looking for that bartender.
I think y'all probably gonna have to bring my boo in here. I call her the queen because she got my tolerance up. I remember our first date. I had brought like a mixed mojito by Bacardi.
Yeah.
I swear I was doing something.
You brought that premix in?
I brought the premix, right? I brought the premix. She looked at me. She said, "What we doing with that?" I said, "We're going to drink it." She was like, "Man, just give me some Jose Cuervo. We're going to take shots."
I know that's right.
I was scared. She a tequila girl. I was scared to death because I already know how it makes me feel. And I thought I was going to throw up, but I couldn't look like no punk in front of her.
Right.
Now I take tequila like no problem. So I got to give a shout out to my boo, my queen. She be doing her
Queen,
thing.
If you available on Sundays, come on over.
Oh, she on it. She on it.
Come on over, Queen. And so we got some questions for you.
Okay.
Questions for you. So, in your podcast, you go through and interview a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yep.
You have an amazing energy, and I feel like your interviewees also have that same energy. So I want to treat you. We want to treat you the way that you treat
You in the
your
hot
guests.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
So we have some good questions for you.
All right, let's go.
So the first one is, what has been a consistent trend among some of the entrepreneurs that you've interviewed? What has been like their that you've seen every one of those practices this or does this?
Yep. I would say it's two things, right? I would say they know how to plan. A lot of times we have all of these dreams and aspirations and all these goals, but there's no plans behind them. There's no steps to get you further along the line. You have these people that they're like, okay, I want to climb Mount Everest. Well, what's the first thing you got to do? You got to take that first step. So a lot of people have all of these dreams and aspirations in their minds, but they're not writing them down. So these individuals, they know how to plan. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, my goal is to make $1 million. Okay, how am I going to do that? I'm going to do it through real estate. How many deals do I have to make in order to get that? They're very calculated.
All the steps.
Exactly. So that's what they do. I would say the second thing is they're very self-disciplined. They have a morning routine. A lot of them have morning routines. They wake up early before the sun and before everybody gets up. Why? Because that's their way of being selfish, for themselves. Right. Because a lot of times, when you hear about being selfish, a lot of times there's a negative connotation behind that, right? Because we think, well, if you're selfish, that means it's all about you. Not necessarily. If you don't take care of you, then you can't take care of nobody else. Right. So this time, rather it be 4:30, 5 o'clock, or what have you, This time to yourself, there's no distractions, nobody's sending you emails, nobody's calling you, there's no emergencies, it's all about you. So they all have this morning routine where they get up and they exercise. That's number one. They exercise, and then on top of that, they're writing in their journal, they're doing their affirmations, their gratitude, they're praying, or they're meditating. And this is all for them to get started for the day so that way they can tackle it. Because think about it, if you can knock the hardest things out first, like exercising for that hour before if you can knock that out, man, you ready for anything.
No, you're right.
And there's it's a proven thing, especially in science, that if you work on your physical then works on your mental, because now you feel a lot better and you get that dopamine hit, or
Right.
those type of chemicals that come out.
Endorphins go in.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's two things. They know how to plan, and they also hold themselves accountable. And then I would probably say the third thing is consistency. You have a lot of people that start things and then they end up quitting midway. So like we were just talking about podcasts before the show. You have a lot of people that start podcasts. They may come out with 5 episodes and then they quit because they don't have that instant gratification that we all have, And that's what destroys a lot of people's dreams, that inconsistency and not being self-disciplined, and also the planning. So those are the 3 main things that allow a lot of people to be successful.
Right. I feel like a lot of people too, they get into it for the wrong reason. So they
Oh,
get
right,
into
sure.
their things because of the check, because
Right.
of the
Like
money.
get rich quick. There
Right.
is no get rich quick. If
It
there
doesn't-
was, we would all be rich.
So true. So true.
So long ago.
Yep,
Yeah.
so true. And the thing is, like, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, if you're doing it for the money, then you're not going to get it. You got to do things because you love it. Both of you said that you do this podcast because you love it. You're not looking for a check. The check is going to come. That's going to be what's reciprocated once you blow this thing up.
Right.
You're going to get the sponsors and all that good stuff, and then you might end up start doing a tour, and the next thing you know, you start getting money that way, and then y'all start doing speaking engagements. That's all going to come. It's just all about putting that content out on a consistent basis.
Right.
We were recording, like 6 weeks before we actually put the episode
That's
out,
good.
because we wanted to have episodes in the vault.
Yep.
We just don't want the week to go by. We're like, oh, Monday. Oh, well, now it's been 3 Mondays. Are they coming back? Are they not? So
Absolutely.
definitely being consistent.
Yep.
And having it come up at the same time every
Every
week.
Monday.
Yep.
Right.
So that way they're looking for it. Now, I will say the Docinco Project, the podcast that I have, it was supposed to come out every Sunday, 8 p.m. The problem with that is because I rely on guests. See, both of you can rely on each other. Y'all can do it without me. Y'all can do it without anybody. So as long as y'all, are, I guess, making those arrangements every Sunday, you're good. You're always putting it out. So that's the problem with me. I have guests and I got to rely on them. And sometimes it may not come up and I may not have a guest. So therefore, it starts to throw it off. So I have some things in the work, though. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
Yes, we will. So what made you want to start your podcast, and when did you start?
I wanted to start a podcast probably 3-4 years ago, like many other people, right?
I think that's probably when I wanted
Yeah,
to.
like many other people, I always wanted to have like my own show. I even have VHS tapes from when I was like 11, 12 years old. Me and my sister had like this little show, and we was dancing on it, and we had our little sign and stuff.
See, you
So
were made for this.
I always wanted that, But the pandemic opened up my eyes to a lot of things. It opened up. It was kind of like this great reset where now we're home, and now we're in our thoughts. And now it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Because a lot has changed. If I continue to watch the news, I'm going to be depressed.
Right.
So what can I do to better myself, right? So I said, okay, I want to start a podcast. And what started that was I was on YouTube, and Joe Rogan, who was on Fear Factor, he's a commentator with UFC. He has the Joe Rogan podcast. He has a 34-minute video where he says, if you want to start a podcast, do it. What are you waiting on? He was like, you can probably make your income from doing something that you love. So when he did that, I'm like, okay, let me start doing my research.
sign.
Right. Let me start doing my research. What equipment do I need? What platforms do I have to go on? How do I edit? I'm just researching. Now, a lot of people, they can stop with just doing research, because now you have that analysis paralysis. And you're constantly researching. And next thing you know, you're researching for like 2 years, and it's like, I've done nothing.
Yep.
So I ended up buying all the mics on Amazon. First of all, Amazon has been great to me during the pandemic.
Yes,
Okay.
this is true.
So I bought everything that I needed, and then what I started to do is I started reaching out to people. There was this, obviously, I'm a very smart individual. I have cousins that are celebrities. So what did I do? Let me reach out to them.
Hello?
And they've been very open. You know, they're not one of those individuals where they changed up. They've been very open. So thank you so much. And they still family.
Right.
Thank you to Danny Garcia, the Ciangi twins, Angel Garcia. Love y'all. You know, they became my guests. So that was like a good hit. And after that, I just started reaching out, because what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to interview them. Then I'm going to start name dropping to get the other guests.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, I interviewed Danny Garcia, the Ciangi twins, Angel Garcia. I want to interview you next. So there was this guy named Chink the Barber. He has like 31,000 followers on Instagram. He gave me a shot. He reached out to me. You know, he could have ignored. I went to him. I interviewed him. And then from there, he was like, bro, I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to Los Angeles. I need another interview. He was like, I got somebody for you. He hooked me up with the director of brand marketing for Ethica. I went over there, I interviewed him, then I interviewed this other, and it just kept on going, you know? So if I wasn't out there being very proactive, it would not have came to me.
You would have still been researching, right?
I would have still been researching.
That's it.
But I'm doing it actually for my own selfish inclinations, right? I'm doing it to better myself. So yeah, it's a show for other people to get inspired, but it's mainly for me. So I kind of look at myself like Napoleon Hill, the guy that created Think and Grow Rich. There's this book, Think and Grow Rich. He interviewed Andrew Carnegie, who was like this big tycoon at the time. And he told him, listen, interview all of these other rich people and find out what the commonalities are. And he started doing it, and he came out with this book. This book really has changed like so many people's minds, because it talks about creating like a brain trust. It talks about the consistency of like just starting something and staying consistent. It talks about morning routine. It talks about so many things that we forget. And it was a book that was written back in the early 20s or what have you.
So relevant.
So yeah, so that's what made me start the podcast, you know, and also, I'm like, that's what I enjoy. You know, that's what I enjoy. And, you know, if I could put it on YouTube and then put it in an audio platform, who knows? Somebody might reach out to me and say, listen, we want to give you a $1 million check. You do that, that's it, it's a wrap.
Manifest it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yep. So that's what made me start it. The pandemic really opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Yeah. I think
with most people, this is like fight or flight. Like, all right, I'm either getting out of whatever rut I'm in, or I'm just gonna sit here and wait for something to happen.
And we needed that. It's sad to say, you know, COVID is not everything happens, but we needed this. We needed this because we needed to take a step back and really analyze what makes us happy or not. Because we were all hamsters in this freaking wheel.
Absolutely.
You understand? Like constantly, like waking up same old time, brushing our teeth, taking a shower, getting your breakfast, on the road, going to work, deal with the shenanigans there, then to go to lunch for like 30 minutes or an hour, if you can get 30 minutes or an hour.
Probably took you that long time to get to the store.
You get a 15-minute break, right? If you want to call out sick, you got to confirm that. If you want to call out for vacation, you got to confirm that. Oh, my child has... I got kids, so like if they have an award ceremony, I gotta ask for permission for that. It's ridiculous, man.
They don't give it to you, then you're gonna feel bad. They may try to make you feel bad about it.
Of course. So you look at all of that, and then you realize, like, I'm a robot. Like, am I doing something I absolutely love? And then the thing is, you work and you bust your behind and you try to do a great job. And what do? They reward you with more work.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Because you bust your behind, and then the people that are just mediocre.
You're really good at this. Here, try this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, we know you can get it done over here. I'm like, well, why don't you give it to Cheryl?
Right.
You know?
Cheryl don't produce.
Yeah, but meanwhile, she ain't producing, but they still kept her here because she's 20 years in the game.
Exactly.
It's
now
just...
you're doing everybody's work.
Right. Now you're doing everybody's work. And it's just ridiculous.
Cheryl's going on vacation.
Right.
And Cheryl's going on vacation. Yep. And you know what? If Cheryl don't feel like doing the work today, she just don't feel like doing the work today. So it falls back on you. I don't like Cheryl right now.
No, we don't like Cheryl.
You know?
Everybody knows a Cheryl. Everybody knows a Cheryl.
Everybody, and to all the Cheryls out there, we're not trying to make this a Karen. We're not trying to make y'all the next Karen, but everybody knows a Cheryl, okay?
Everybody knows a Cheryl.
And so, you deal with that. So think about it. When they told, so I started my new job. I started the day they shut down the city.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't even work in the office for not one day. Like, they literally gave me a tour and it was time to work. I'm so grateful for this particular job because they have been very good as far as working with me and stuff like that. But I've been working from home. And so now you got to work from home, and now you're dealing with your kids, virtual learning, and you're doing all this other stuff. It was just nuts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's crazy. So now you got to rely on Cheryl on the Zoom calls now.
Right.
You
She
understand?
don't even know how to use technology.
No.
She don't.
No, and she's late to the Zoom
She's
calls.
either always on mute or never
Right.
on mute.
No audio. That's because she's sleeping.
Yeah,
There's no visual, no
she's
audio.
customarily late in person, and she's late on the Zoom calls.
Where you at, Cheryl?
You're home. Cheryl.
Right,
Napping, probably.
right. And you can't even turn your video camera on. What are you doing? You know,
I
so
think people like that really don't know it. They just act like they.
they just
I'm pretty sure they just act like they don't know.
and that's the problem because me, I'm
They
a
could
very
probably
honest,
teach us,
right?
But they're like, nah, I'm gonna let y'all young bucks do it. I'm just gonna sit back here. And let y'all
Exactly,
work."
You
exactly.
think it's coffee in my mug. It's
Right,
not.
it's not.
It's not,
how I
right.
get through the day.
It's I know I probably went off on a tangent on Cheryl, but it's just the pandemic
Everybody knows a Cheryl.
pandemic opens your eyes
Yeah.
to be like, you know what, I need to control my own destination.
Mm-hmm.
I can't continue to rely. I gotta really give a shout out to Jocelyn, right? Because I was working in an after school program. She gave me that shot. Started working for the Boy Scouts
Yeah.
for like full time, and then from there my trajectory, and I started like killing it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you be honest, the corporate lifestyle is really not what it's all cracked up to be.
Hell no.
In the very beginning, I was looking at like I want to be the CEO, but then you start to realize the CEOs ain't even got control because
No,
now
they
the
don't.
boards are over them.
Right, they're all being controlled by somebody else.
Right.
They're just really like the mouthpiece.
Right. So it's all about this independence where it's like, okay, I need to learn how to be independent, And so I started to really research different people. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace to him, but like he really, like I was looking at people like that, and he was somebody that was very independent, and he has this lyric where he was like, anyway, I forgot. I ain't trying to mess that lyric up. Anyway, next question. I don't want to mess that up.
Let's go to the next question. So you already mentioned one of the books that you have read or are reading. What other books are you reading, have read, and would recommend?
I would seriously recommend, and I know it's a book that a lot of entrepreneurs have read. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor
That was
Dad.
the first book that I ever
Yep.
read that I was like, oh yeah, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm outta here.
Yep. Robert Kiyosaki. I was at Community College of Philadelphia at the time. There was this real estate teacher, professor. He recommended that book. I bought it that same day. I read it, opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Open my eyes.
Yep.
I'm talking about you don't see how blinded you are until you read something that opens your eyes and you're like, wow, I've been in the Matrix the entire time.
Absolutely.
And what opened my eyes is when he put things in perspective and he says the rich don't work for money. The rich don't work for money. They let their money work for them.
Right.
What does that mean? Well, I just put some money in some crypto not too long ago. My money's been working for me ever since. I put like $1,000 in that thing's at 4,000. I said, shoot, I ain't do nothing.
What is it? The Dodge?
I did put it in Dogecoin, so we're gonna see if that
like,
money.
okay, that's a good thing.
I put that money. I think I got like 10,500 coins right now. So listen, that thing get to $1. No, that thing get to $100. I'm gonna cash out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But I'm just trying to get some money. But anyway, that book really changed my thought process. And then there was this book called Atomic Habits, and it really changed my thought process too because it tells you how to build routines that can make you much more productive. Because you look at people like Elon Musk, who has Tesla, who has all of these other companies, and he's able to run all of these multi-billion-dollar companies, and he can be very efficient with his time. And that's the problem with us, like.
That's my number one problem is my time.
Yeah,
management.
it's the time. It's that's one thing because sometimes we even waste our time on people and on negative energy and on being on the phone with the wrong side. It's like you really got to look at your life and you really got to look at the time that you have on this earth and be very efficient with it.
Selfish with that time.
You have to, because if you don't, then you're wasting. And by the time years go by, you look at what have I done? You ain't do nothing.
Work for somebody Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yep.
With
Got denied a couple vacations.
Right, and then you get excited for the weekend.
Right.
You literally get excited for a Saturday and Sunday. Actually, I don't even get excited about Sunday because I'm already thinking about Monday.
Right.
Yep.
Like a certain time after Sunday, you're like, oh shit. Might
Right.
as well just start winding down and get ready.
It's-
Like get mentally prepared for that.
It's so sad that we work and we bust our behind Monday through Thursday. I'm not even going to say Friday. Do we really bust our behind on Friday?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
We don't even bust our behind on Mondays.
So
Mondays is planning for the week.
Work, maybe Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday.
listen, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's where you like get busy.
All the more reason to cut the weeks back. The
Right.
days of the week back because we're really not being productive all 5 days.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. If they cut it back and they give us Fridays off, Thursday's the new Friday.
right.
So
Now
now
we
it's
gonna
Tuesday,
get
Wednesday.
And I still want Thursday off. I want to leave early on
Right.
Thursday.
Yep. So now Tuesday and Wednesday.
We
So
always want more.
We ain't
So
never.
it's been at least 100 years since the original work schedule.
I agree.
It's time to revamp it.
I totally
The
agree.
last pandemic was 100 years ago.
Yep.
So everything is changing. We need to
So
be
true.
changing with the world.
So true.
Let's evolve.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think this day and age, it's the year. It's literally the era of the entrepreneur. If you don't know how to make money. In this day and age with internet, opening a whole wide variety of opportunities.
So much access. We have so many resources.
So many. But you know what the problem is with typical people is there's so much information that they get easily overwhelmed and then they do nothing.
Never mind.
They
Forget
do
it.
nothing.
I'm just gonna go clap.
I
Yeah.
can't do that. That's
It's
too
too
hard.
much.
It's most of it's supposed to be hard,
Yep.
right?
If it was
It's
easy,
not easy.
everybody would do it.
There'd be
Exactly.
no corporations. There'd be
Right.
none of this because everybody be doing it.
Yep. Yep.
You need to want to
If
do
we
it.
we talked about the podcast. We love doing it, editing. We get excited every week. If for two, and I don't want this to happen, but if for 2 or 3 weeks come and we hit like 10 views, would I feel like, damn, that's fucked up? Yeah, but I'm not gonna stop because I'm still doing it selfishly for me because I enjoy this.
Exactly.
This is like an outlet for me.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, y'all gonna come back.
Yep.
There's gonna be a reason that y'all gonna come back.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna continue to produce videos.
Yep.
We're gonna be here.
Podcasts. Yep. We'll still be here.
And the thing is, Joe, I keep on mentioning Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan has the Joe Rogan podcast. He just got a deal, I think it was last year, for $100 million with Spotify. He had only 200 people on his stream the first time he started coming out with episodes, and he did that 10 years ago. But he was consistent, and eventually, he got the bag.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying with you guys, the 10 views and stuff like that, or however views, just look at that as it's all growing pains.
Yep.
Until you finally get it. Then once you blow up, then everybody gonna want to be on your
Exactly.
podcast, and everybody's gonna want to stream you, and everybody's gonna want to be your friend now.
Oh yeah.
You know-
Oh, yeah,
you know
we
the
talked
friends
about that.
gonna come.
That's why we got these shady plants.
Yeah, you need the
All
shade.
the
ones that-
shade. We
We
got to
support
throw.
man.
Right. Y'all probably got. Listen, let's be honest. Y'all probably got some people right now that's be like, that ain't gonna work. Or you got some people that's probably like their personalities aren't always hating,
There's always somebody that says something or just hasn't watched it at all. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
but never show them support or
Never.
nothing.
It's-
Yeah.
Even if you don't watch it, just post it then so somebody else can watch it.
Right,
There's ways
absolutely.
to support your friends and other small businesses without spending $1, without really even. You're already on your phone scrolling on Instagram.
You're not
Share that page.
spending money
That's it.
supporting others
That's a free
at all.
support.
That's it.
Free support.
They're gonna support y'all when everybody else starts.
Right, it's a
That's
popularity
guaranteed.
thing. That's the culture that we live in. If it's popular, if somebody else is doing it, it's hot. Oh yeah, let me go catch up on their episodes.
Yeah, of course.
Now because it's a blow up.
Yep, absolutely. So it is
Well,
what
we gonna
it is.
remember. We
Oh,
gonna remember
absolutely.
that.
Listen, man, let's do that. You said I could touch a button. You said I could touch a button. I want to touch that. So let's do it.
I said you can touch the button.
So let's see. So we went through that one. All right. So we so official, unofficial.
That's
professional,
all good. Let's do it.
Whatever.
That's what makes us us.
That is. So what's your morning routine?
All right, morning routine. I'm gonna be honest. I have my bouts of consistency, and then I have like one day that just throws everything off, and then it takes me about 2-3 weeks to get back consistent again, right? So, on a good consistent like movement, I try to get up. I try to get up at 4:30. No, I try to get up. I set my alarm for 4. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I heard that some CEOs get up at 5. I said, man, I want to outdo them. So then I put it. That's what I do. Like I'm always like that. You get up at 5, I want to get up. Yeah, you get up at 5, I'm getting up at 4:30. So I set my alarm for 4 o'clock so I can hit the snooze button a few times
Give
before I get to
yourself some
4:30.
time.
Right, exactly. Then I get up at 4:30 and I go to the basement. I try to work out. I see you on the
That's
IG
why.
stories, man.
You need to talk about
are
your
consistent.
morning routine and your
I'll talk about
consistency.
it.
All right, but you are consistent because there's sometimes
Yeah.
where, like, I wake up and I said, man, she done completed her workout already. I'm still
in
thinking
bed.
about mine, right?
Still like, do I really need to get up right now? Can I wait a little bit?
Exactly. So I wake up at 4:30. I'm already downstairs in the basement. I try to get an hour workout in. Right. Once I get that hour workout in, then I meditate for like 10-15 minutes. There's an app called Calm.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah. So Calm, I use that because they like real soothing and relaxing. I was paying a therapist, because I ended up realizing, listen, you don't realize how much trauma you have in your entire life,
plenty.
right? And you realize the way you deal with certain things. So because Josh was raised in North Philly just like I was, and we seen a lot. You don't realize how much you seen until you seen a lot. So I paid a therapist $60 a session. Come to find out, I was probably paying her about maybe 120 or something like that a month. I'm like, man, I got the Calm app. The lady talked to me just like the other one talked to me, okay? And anyway, I was good. So I use that, do that for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll journal. And sometimes it's just, just to release, whatever I'm grateful for, whatever, and just talk about, anything. And then I'll break out into like a prayer, or I'll probably like read a scripture from like the Bible and stuff like that. And then I'm off to the races and just do what I got to do as far as breakfast, waking up the kids. But I do all of that stuff before the kids wake up. Because I know the moment the kids wake up, now it's all about them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I try to do that. That keeps me pretty consistent. And then on Mondays, I plan my entire week.
Okay.
So I plan everything I'm going to do for my job, and I plan everything that I'm going to do for the two businesses that I have. So I got the Rehab Parlor, which is the real estate company, and then I have Docinco Ventures, which has the podcast, and I'm going to have the merch and all that stuff underneath there. So I try to give time for each of those so that way I can start accomplishing the goals that I set for that year.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
That's a good
That's
morning
a good,
routine.
Yeah, I
that's
try.
a good way to be productive.
Yeah.
And keep yourself motivated, especially like I'm a list person.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday or Monday, I normally write down like my list of the week, like
Yep.
all right, what has to get done. Because if not, I'm just gonna like, what I say?
Yeah.
Like, so I had to go back to like, let me write it down. Not even put it in my phone, but just actually writing it.
You
in
have
a
to.
notebook. Like I'm a writer, so
Yep.
I have to. It's easier for me, and I'll remember it.
Absolutely. And you have to, like, the power of goal planning and setting out your tasks. Like, a lot of people have these New Year's resolutions, right? Oh, I want to do this. I want to lose this weight. But they don't put the plan intact. Like, there's this quote, if you fail to plan, your plan's going to fail. I live by that. Because if you don't set those plans up, I set a plan to raise or to make $150,000 just off the real estate alone, right? So I said, I'm going to do that this year. I'm in, April? And I'm going to be honest, I ain't do nothing. So now I'm like, okay, now I got a plan from May to December to get busy and to make it happen.
So you about to be busy.
Right, because there's times where, like, sometimes you get depressed. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been a depressing person at all. I've always been an outgoing, happy person. But for some reason, the past few years, I don't know if my hormones or whatever, but I've been like
Life.
sad. I get like that
catching up
sometimes.
with you.
Yeah, life starts catching up. You start realizing, because, I went through a divorce in 2018, and I went through all of that and stuff like that. So now my kids is like, when you going to get back with mom? And I'm like, that ain't, it's just a lot of stuff like that. And so I had to really, like, take a step back and, like, really, like, get my ducks in order so that way I can start doing what I got to do, But yeah, it's tough sometimes, but you got to break through. You can't just let life kick you in the butt,
Right.
and then you just sit back and don't do nothing about it. So
Like, yeah, everybody, it's okay not to be okay. You can have a day where you're like, man, listen, I'm not doing it today. Just get up eventually.
Right.
Tomorrow.
there's sometimes I want to punch somebody in the mouth, but I realize that's assault, and I might end up going to jail for
Like,
it.
I do got a couple things I can lose. I guess I'm not going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but you know what?
Bill for jail.
Right. But you know what? Us as humans, we tend to how you say that? We tend to focus on the negative all the time. But we don't realize when we get up, we winning.
Yep.
Because think about it, like, we got our eyes right now. We got all of our senses. We're able to walk. So just imagine those people that don't even have that.
For granted.
And they probably grateful. There was somebody that I had spoke about on TikTok. It was a dude, I think something happened to him I think he had a disease or something to where he can only blink, I think it was his right eyelid. That's the only way he can communicate in life. He was a vegetable. My man wrote 2 books.
That's insane.
They taught him how to blink, how to blink his eye enough to communicate with the...
Crazy.
So we have no excuse not to
get
do
shit
what we
My
want
man
to
wrote
do.
2 books with his right eye.
That's insane.
And I can't write 1 book with everything. You understand what I'm saying? There's no excuse. I really don't get it.
Your mind gets in your own way.
Yeah, Helen Keller, listen, we all knew about Helen Keller from school. Okay? No senses, like blind, deaf, dumb, all of that stuff. And she was impactful. I got everything, and I ain't, come on.
You're like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, it's laziness. We get lazy.
That's what it is.
We get lazy. We want everything, but we get lazy.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I'm going to drink to that.
We're going to drink to that for sure. To the laziness.
My bad, y'all. If y'all see me running into a tangent, I apologize. Like, sometimes I veer off a lot.
I'm the queen of being on my soapbox, so do your thing.
All right, cool.
So what would you say to your 20-year-old self?
I like that question. 20-year-old self would be, D, you're not going to be a millionaire at 30 like you said you was, right? No, I'm just playing. I would say my 20-year-old self, you know what, D? Take your time, be very patient.
Where were you at 20?
At 20 years old, I was at I was working at ECS Beacon and working for the Boy Scouts at the time. So I was in the after school program, and I was in North Philly in the Fairhill section around Ella and Ontario. I was semi getting into a lot of trouble during that time, and it wasn't, you may not know, you only knew my corporate side and just me being happy-go-lucky. Yeah.
I saw the car you drove.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, so.
She been using them streets.
Yeah, well, Joss also knew we put her in some predicaments sometimes with regards to work.
Yes. We might get into
But she said she was a pushover.
But overall, like, I was in the hood. And all I was seeing was, the hustlers making their money and the drug addicts, like, that's just all you saw. So that's what I was. I think I was in college at the time. So I think the advice would be, Daryl, start planning what you want to do. Don't let life dictate where you're going to go and how you're going to move. That's what I did. I went on autopilot. I didn't plan on anything, and it almost gets like, say for instance, Boy Scouts came, now I started working for the Boy Scouts. So then CCP came, now I started working for them, and I started working for other, it was like I was just following the lead. Like, I wasn't navigating, I wasn't figuring it out, and I wasn't planning to say, I want to do this. Forget all that. I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to accomplish this. I was on autopilot, and I let the wave currents pull me in any direction until I was successful through it all, but imagine where I would have been if I was 20 years old and I had an actual plan. I would have blew up.
Oh, for sure.
I would have blew up. So I would give that advice. I would also say, you know what? Be very strategic and, be very strategic with who you decide to deal with. Relationship-wise or what have you, your friends and things of that sort, be a little bit more mindful and see the signs and see the flags, the red flags.
Don't ignore the flags.
Sometimes we ignore a lot of the red flags, and sometimes we think we can change certain people or we can change our circle, and we don't realize that at the end of the day, that circle ends up changing us.
Yep.
So I came to that reality, and so now, I'm grown, I'm much more mature now. Now I'm looking at things a whole lot different, and I'm very analytical as far as who I keep in my space. Because if you can't guard that energy, and that energy starts to make you, start take from you, and then next thing you know, you have all this negative energy. Then next thing you know, you're just an angry individual all the time. So I would say that. I would say plan, be patient, and guard your circle. Yep.
That's good
I like
advice.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like you have to treat your energy and your time like money. You have
Absolutely.
to budget. You only got but so much.
Exactly.
So who are you giving that to? You have to be very mindful of who and what you're giving all that energy, all that time to. Treat it like money and budget it just like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Eric Thomas, he's a famous motivational speaker. Very dope. He has this motivational, I think, album, and it's about energy, and it's called Recharge or something. And he says, when you pay for electric for your house, you got to pay for that. If you're using gas, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for all of these, essentials. He says, when people are on the phone with you and they just giving you nothing but negative energy, you need to charge them for that. If not, you need to hang up the phone because they taking away from you. If they're putting all of that negative energy, then guess what? They're taking all of that positive energy. They're draining you. And then next thing you know, you're around people that's just draining you. And when you no longer have that energy to move forward, they suck the life out of you and they move on to the next.
Yep, and now you're exhausted.
You got to guard it. You got to guard it because
and
people
then you wonder why am I exhausted after talking to this person?
Right. They will suck the life out of you and then they'll move on to the next person.
Yep.
So I learned a lot. 35 years old, I learned a lot. Let me tell you, ain't no joke.
What was I listening to? DJ Khaled's new album. There's a song.
I gotta listen to it. I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Justin Bieber's on this song and he said, "Time is money, but you can't buy time." And I was like, so simple, but so true. Because I'm on a, definitely, I'm treating my time as, currency.
You have to.
I don't have time. So like I said, I keep saying that 2020, 2021 has showed us that life is very short. Your time is currency.
Absolutely.
So,
and the thing,
use it wisely.
Right. There was this woman on Instagram that interviewed me on a live, and she said, what advice would you give? And I said, honestly, you probably, I think you're 38, 40 years old. I think she told me her age. I said, you probably, if you live healthy, we all probably live to about 80 years old. I said, you only got 40 years on this earth. I said, and the older you get, the faster time moves, right or wrong.
For sure.
When we were 6, 8 years old,
we couldn't wait to be older.
Right.
It take forever. And now I'm like, shit, how did I get to 30?
But remember this. Remember this. When we got out of school, remember summer vacation? 3 months? Them 3 months felt like 3 years, right or wrong. It's
all the time in the world.
All the time in the world. 3 months now, we about to enter summer.
Right.
It's
May. How?
Yep. 3 months will be 3 days. 3 months will be 3 days.
Yep.
And it's scary because it's like, you know, I'm 35 now, but the time is going by fast. We're almost in 2022. You know, and it's like, what are we going to do? This time is moving so fast. What are we going to do with our time? And that's what I've always said. Thank you. I need that. I need that. This is a therapy session for me right now. But, you know, what are we doing with our time? Honestly.
I said, I was like, it's May 1st. 5 months into the year. What
Right.
have I done? Like,
Right.
that's how I look at it. All right, what have I done?
Right. And you know what the sad reality is? Like we getting old too. So the looks are going to start to fade away. You know, the physical is going to start to fade away. We don't want to be them old people regretting,
Right.
you know, what we could have, should have, didn't
I should
do.
have ate that. I should have worked out. Damn, I should have stuck to that morning routine we
Right.
did about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
They said,
this is the time now. Like,
Yeah.
preserve what we got.
Yeah.
Because we're only getting older.
they said if you want to get motivated, go to the nursing home. Go to a nursing home, interview a few of the residents, and find out what they regret. And a lot of them will regret not doing more in their youth
Yeah.
than they, you know, in life. Period. We gotta value this. This is a good time.
This is our time.
You know.
This is 100%.
Yeah. Like we're youthful now. We have the energy. We're not in our 20s. You know. I mean, I gotta go to chiropractor now. You know. Sometimes I gotta
smarter
get
than
adjusted.
we were.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're smarter, we're wiser than we were.
Yeah.
I'll spring out of bed like that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Take a
smarter
deep
about my
Yeah.
decision.
Absolutely. So we getting older, man. We got to do better.
So what's the next question? Who has been your favorite person you interviewed so far?
All right. So I love all my guests. Let's just put it that way.
Put that disclaimer out.
Yeah. I love. Listen, everybody
Like
that
what
gave
we
me.
said, we love all the kids.
Yeah, we love all the
Talked
kids.
about
You know,
how-
Marty Marr love all the kids. Okay. I will say, you know, I love all of my guests because they gave me the shot. Honestly, I would say the ones that I was really impactful by, as far as the business knowledge that they put out there, it would be the guy Q. Q from New York. He has a club. He has real estate. He has a bunch. His office space is in a bank that he owns. He owns a former bank.
That's insane.
My man is 36 years old.
I was gonna say, when he said his age on that interview, I'm like, how? You've lived like 3 lives.
Yeah.
My man is
Wow.
36 years old. I looked at him. I said, brother, I'm 35. I said, you own a bank. I don't even have a
You're
bank
like,
account.
I got work to do. Shit, I got some work to do.
Right. And
Interview over. I got
Right, that's it.
right. And you know, and the thing is, I met him off of TikTok, or I actually got his advice through TikTok. And he made his money straight off of the barbershop. He was cutting hair and he started saving his money. That's one of the things. He said he lived like he was poor for a few years.
He said he didn't go on vacation for 7 years.
Right.
I was
Discipline.
Like, what?
You must have paused right there. Like, I don't know if I can listen to him.
I was like, all right, I don't know if this entrepreneurship is gonna work for me now.
Right. It's discipline though.
That discipline
Think
is
about
serious.
it. If I can save all of that money to get the bag, to put it in like some real estate and to make something.
When he said that, I'm like, okay, let me think back 7 years and all the vacations I took in those 7 years. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
I
money.
did a lot with that.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, okay, let's get the discipline popping.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
So he was very disciplined. You know, also you got to mind you, he came out of jail. You know, he came out of jail, so he already had a bunch of stuff going against him.
Right.
As far as, you know, he can't get a 9 to 5. I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
Right. We can get a 9 to 5 and use that money to fund whatever we need to, but some
Right.
people can't.
Yep. And you need to look at, and people need to look at their jobs as an investor to their future, as far as what they want to do with it. Like, you know, like they want to start a business or do investments. Use your 9 to 5 for that.
Absolutely.
Nobody's saying you got to quit. See, some people want to quit their 9 to 5.
done.
Yeah, to end up doing their entrepreneurial endeavors. Listen, more power to you if you can do it, but you are a cold sucker if you know that you're getting that check in every 2 weeks and you're getting them health benefits. Why would you risk going out there on your own? Save that money, put it to the side, and start investing
Use them until you're ready.
Right, use them until you're ready.
They're gonna use you until they find a better.
And they are
employee
using
anyway.
you every single day in order to get their
We
goals
just gonna
accomplished.
use each other.
Right. It's a give and take thing. What was the question? Did I answer it? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. We were talking about guests. Okay. So Q was good, right? I'm sorry. I told you I was going on a tangent, right?
I know better.
So Q was good. I would say Chink the barber was also a great individual. He's a barber. He has real estate and all of that stuff. But he talked about how he was a regular barber and then he used his networking skills in order to get in with the celebrities. And now he's cutting, NBA players' hair and all that stuff. So he gave some good advice too. There's a guy that I haven't put out yet. His name is David Meltzer. My man, after college, within 9 months, made $1 million. And what he did was, he said he ended up doing something where he multiplied his time. So some people tend to work a 40 hours a week or what have you. My man said that he tripled his time to where he was working 120 hours, but he wasn't working 120 hours. It was some kind of method that he used where he was productive as if he worked 120 hours.
Work smarter, not harder.
That's exactly what it was. So he was much more efficient with his time. So I'm going to probably drop that like within a week or so, but he was very good as well. But again, shout out to all my guests. But when we were talking about business, like I got the most sound advice through those interviews. Yeah.
And our last question is, what is next for you?
All right, so as far as what's next for me, again, I want to raise or I want to make $150,000 this year, right, off of the Rehab Parlor.
We 5 months into the year, so
we 5 months. Listen, I'm gonna get busy. I'm gonna get busy because the Rehab Parlor. A lot of people are saying, everybody's into real estate nowadays, right? You got ads and everything, but I've been doing this probably since 30 years old. At 30 years old, I got depressed because I thought I was supposed to be a millionaire by that time. Yeah, I had my family. Yeah, I had a single home. I had all of these things, but I got depressed. So I ended up starting my business at 30. I met with this guy that taught me the real estate game. And the type of real estate that I do is not actually owning the properties. What I do is I reach out to individuals that have like dilapidated buildings, vacant, maybe tax liens and stuff where they like are in over their head. I reach out to them and I strike a deal. And then what I do is I get that under contract. And in that contract, I have a clause that pretty much says that it's assignable. So I can then take that contract and I can assign it to an investor that can then pay me money in order to buy out the contract. And so I make the money in the end.
Yeah.
So in 2018, like tail end of 2018, I made $40,000.
Nice.
I made $40,000 in 3 months. I ain't never see that type of money in one check in my life. $40,000. I was like, yo. And that's the problem. We so used to these checks every 2 weeks where we get paid for our time. Forget getting paid for your time. You got to get paid for the value that you present to other people.
You say you're a slice of pizza.
Right? Yeah. In one of my videos, yeah.
You're right.
Look at this, right? In one of my videos, I was thinking about this. I'm like, Joe Biden or whoever is talking about raising the minimum wage to $15, right? And everybody's getting excited and everybody's like protesting. We need $15 an hour. Brother, you are working a large cheese pizza an hour if you attribute that $15 to what that pays for.
Yep.
Think about it. I'm technically worth an hour right now, an Xbox 360 video game that's brand new. You understand what I'm saying? When you attribute it to that, it's like, when you look at it, that's so menial. But we look at it like it's the biggest thing ever.
Right. When he said it that way, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you look at it that way and you say, yo, I'm getting $20 an hour, yo, I'm getting $30 an hour, you really think you getting,
Right.
you blowing it up.
You're not.
Really, $30 an hour? That's V-Bucks for my kids for their Fortnite games.
You gotta buy skins and shit.
Yeah, skin. My kids want a skin every week.
I don't have kids, but I cash up my nephew.
Yeah.
So he can buy skins.
Yeah, my kids are always asking me for V-Bucks on a regular basis. Dad, can I get this new skin? I said, brother, we used to unlock the skins when we used to play our video games back in the day. We had to pay for it.
What happens to the codes?
Yeah, it was codes back then. Now they want them to pay for it. So anyway, what's next? My bad, y'all.
No.
I'm on a tangent.
But like when you give your kid $20, or anybody, you give your kid $20 to buy his skin, and if you only making $20 an hour, think about all the work you did for that hour.
Right.
You just gave up that $20.
Right.
All the work you did in
That's
that
a
hour.
lot. It seems like the rate is high, but it's really not.
It's not.
On top of the work, think about all the frustration that you deal with people in the workplace.
And Cheryl.
The personality. Cheryl, I'm going to tell you. There's gonna be somebody reaching out to me on Instagram named Cheryl, and she's gonna be upset with me because now we just turned her name into like a Karen.
My mother-in-law is named Cheryl.
Cheryl.
But overall, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I was on a tangent. So what's next for Docinco,
Yes.
right? And I'm gonna tell y'all how I got that name too, right? So I was thinking about an Instagram handle. And I was watching some like funny moments from Ocho Cinco, like the football player. And I'm like, yo, this bull, like, we got similar personalities, you know? So I'm like, that's my honorary cousin. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add the Cinco to it, but now I gotta add like, you know, like I'm gonna add some words. So I said Uno Cinco. No, that's whack. Tres Cinco, they ain't doing it. Dos Cinco, I said that's the name. That's the name. Create that brand, it's a wrap, you know? So I ended up, and then what I did was.
So now you gotta work on that interview. So
Yeah,
that you can interview
I'm gonna try to get it.
Story.
But what I did was, he ended up going on Cameo. You ever heard of Cameo?
Yeah.
So he ended up going on Cameo. He's like, yo, I'm charging $85 for shout outs. I said, perfect timing to enhance my brand.
Absolutely.
My name is Dos Cinco. You my honorary cousin. I sent him what I wanted him to say. He said it. I put it right up on my Instagram. Now everybody was like, yo, how you get him to shout you out? Brother, you know it's connections. They didn't realize I paid for it, you know? But anyway, long story short,
great.
I want to continue the podcast. I want to continue to blow that up. I want to come out with a merch, you know, like some merch, you know, clothes, because I'm really big into fashion and stuff.
Yeah.
So I ended up creating this. This is straight
I really
up,
like that.
you know, this is H&M sweater, and then I went and got some iron-on Michaels, the letters.
You did good.
Yeah, I did pretty good. You know, I'm pretty artistic when it comes to that. But I want to do merch, and then I actually want to come out with a book. I've always wanted to be an author. I remember I used to read the Goosebumps books back in the day. I always wanted to be like a R.L. Stein, right? So I want to come out with some books, and I want to come out with some tangible things that can make me money forever. You know, think about it. Somebody buy your book, ebook, whatever, you can make that money. So that's the plan. And own a bunch of real estate, man. I don't want to work forever.
No.
You know, I want my kids to be like, you know what, my dad did his thing. My dad is, you know, I want to be my dad when I get older.
Right.
I don't want them saying they want to be somebody else. You know?
I want to go to work like you go to work.
Yeah,
I want to work for myself.
Right. I want to bust my behind. I'm tired of, you know, listen, I appreciate the corporate lifestyle. Don't get it twisted. Everybody that's watching, if you see me and you recognize me, I appreciate the corporate lifestyle.
So different when he's not in the office.
Yeah. Like listen, I could barely, when I went to the Boy Scouts and I was around Brad and everybody, right, I could barely get on the phone. Because I'm coming from North Philly and I have this slang and I'm like trying to turn it off and I don't know how to code switch yet. Right.
Yeah.
So now I get around these suburban volunteers, I could hardly get on the phone with them.
Right.
You know, and then Brad's laughing at me because he knew I'm struggling. You know, so anyway.
That's one of the things I appreciate about. I started in corporate America like young, like 16.
Yeah.
But that's where I learned it from you know, somebody, hey, how you doing? Versus, hey, how are you today? Like you don't know that you have to do that
don't
until
really know.
you work in corporate America.
Absolutely.
And then somebody else comes along that's never worked in corporate, and you're like, oh, honey, you're gonna need some help.
And sometimes I'm translating the corporate language into my relationship. So I said, listen, I'm gonna text you I'm gonna send you the message via text. Like, what the hell is a via?
What do you mean via?
What are you talking about
Where
right
do I
now?
find via?
Yeah, I remember my girl was just, you know, like me and her, we was going back and forth. We had like a little slight disagreement, but I was talking to her in corporate language. She was like, if you talk to me in corporate language one more time, that's going to be a whole problem.
As per my last text.
As per my last, I'm just following up on the text that you saw, but you did not respond to.
Okay, so moving forward, those keywords, those key
Right. I'm going to make sure to put you on my schedule.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So anyway, like corporate.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm trying to do my thing, but listen, I really
you're not
appreciate.
trying, you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm
You're
doing
doing
it.
it.
I'm doing it. And all I can say, especially the people that's watching, is listen, like you are in control of your life.
Absolutely.
You know, there may be things that you probably can't control, but you are personally in control of your life for whatever that you can control.
You're
you know,
the CEO of your life.
you're the CEO of your life.
Hire and fire accordingly.
Right, absolutely. So you can fire your boss when you get enough money to do so.
That's right.
You know, so I ain't say I was firing my boss. Keep me on the job because I know y'all about to go through another set of layoffs. So just just let me stay a little longer, y'all.
Right.
That's it.
Goals to reach. Somebody else can come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Else
So
come. You
so
can
that's
get
the
them a
name of the
slice
game.
Pizza an hour.
Right, slice of pizza. It's ridiculous though. Slice of damn pizza an hour. Can't even afford the pepperoni.
No topping.
Just plain.
It's ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, thank you for coming. We really, really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thank you for having
Definitely
me.
good vibes, good energy.
I try.
Always come back.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm coming out with my own. You know, I'm coming out with another off-brand type of podcast. Maybe I have y'all on there. Y'all don't mind?
Listen, not at all.
Interview
Let me
you.
know. We'll pencil you in.
Yeah, we'll talk, and then, I'll follow up with you via text.
That's right, absolutely.
And then we do that. But, maybe we could talk about like relationship advice next time or something like that, because relationships is hard as I don't know what.
Yeah, and it's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic.
Not this Monday, the following Monday, we have, I don't want to mess up her title now. She's a certified sex therapist, a relationship coach, and a marriage therapist. And she's going to be on the following week. So that's
I ain't playing no
definitely an
games.
interesting episode, yeah.
It's going to be, okay, so I need y'all to ask this question, right? New era, the new era, new generation. Mm-hmm. Everybody having sex with everybody. Right. Right or wrong. Like, Instagram is just so easy. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. I ain't got no question. I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever. All I'm saying is just ask some real good questions that she could hopefully, whatever.
Yeah, no, she gave some good advice, and we're going to have her back. But she's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Maybe we'll all be going over to yours for your podcast when you branch off.
I got to get my scenery together.
Don't worry, I'm gonna send you the Amazon link.
Yeah, I'll get my scenery together, and I'll be good. I'll get some palm trees and stuff like that. My thing a little bland right now. Yeah, but listen, I'm proud of y'all, which I got going on, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, basic and bougie, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you why they call her bougie before we end. I had to go to 3 sets of security just to get in here. Okay, I didn't think it was gonna be like that.
This is the gated community. Please get the property. And that's a wrap. That's a great episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, so before heading out to record another episode of the Basic and Bougie podcast, I wanted to show you the nail vibes that I have today. All courtesy of Mini Maze. I love their nails. For all of us who don't want to set foot in a nail salon just yet during this pandemic, Mini Maze, hit them up on Instagram. You measure your nail, you tell them what color, what length, what style you want. I always go for the Cardi B length, and they send them to you in a nice, delicately placed package. So it comes to you all safe. You put them on, instructions, care, amazing. The price, amazing. Get yourself some Mini Maze nails. Bye. See you on another episode where you'll see these nails.